The number one reason insurance denies roof claims is not what you think. Insurance companies aren't denying your claim because you don't have damage. They're denying it because they don't have documentation. This is why we use drones, AI technology, satellite imagery, and just good old roofing experience to document everything that might be wrong with your roof. You as a homeowner need a roofer with documentation standards. Call Absolute Restoration. Let us come and inspect, document, and present.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I know all of us have had a toasty day here in North Mississippi, but thankfully relief is almost here as we get ready for the evening hours ahead. So let's start talking about what's kind of going to start affecting us tonight, but affecting us for the rest of the holiday week ahead. We have a change in the weather pattern ahead, and that's due to this cold front that we've been talking about the past few days, almost the past week, finally starting to be on the doorsteps of North Mississippi, and with that bringing in those rain chances, and that's what's going to start the process. Those rain chances moving on through tonight, not really going to be stormy, energetic, or really severe, which is good news, especially with what previous models have mentioned, but those rain chances are going to move on through, and that's going to bring in that cooler weather that we get to enjoy for pretty much the rest of 2025. So it'll be a beautiful end to 2025 and a great way to start 2026. It took us till it's December 28th now to finally see not only seasonable temperatures, but below average conditions, but we're finally starting to get them here as we get ready for the new year ahead. So let's start right now taking some live looks. This had a beautiful sunset earlier. I hate that now during the 6 o'clock we don't really see it. There it goes, just updated again. But temperature 73 degrees and it feels like 75. So even feeling a little bit more muggy out there, just a little bit, as we are definitely very saturated this evening as that cold front continues moving on in. But notice we've had some breezy conditions today, and that's going to continue to kind of amplify just a little bit more as that cold front moves on through. Any threat we see tonight will just be those breezy conditions. So make sure to bring in those loose items indoors because it will definitely be a windy night ahead of us, but still warm temperatures out there in Crenshaw. That's going to be pretty much the name of the game tonight, but not for long, especially out here in Smithville. 73 degrees feels like 77. Single digit wind values coming out of the southwest around 8 miles per hour, but definitely will start to ramp on up just a little bit more. That's because you're on the pretty much line or state line closer towards Alabama. So we start to get those wind gusts a little bit later on tonight when that cold front gets closer to us. Let's take a look at the first 12 to try to map out your evening. We're starting off with temperatures around 68 degrees by 7 o'clock, starting to see some of those rain chances affect us. They'll ramp on up later, especially during the 10 o'clock broadcast hour, where we'll be seeing a lot of those showers move on through, and that line of showers, don't even want to say line of storms, just move on through North Mississippi, dropping off towards around 10% by 1 a.m. Most of the rain chances we see are going to happen tonight, even before midnight. Once we cross into those AM hours, we're going to start seeing drier conditions and eventually mostly clear conditions. We're dropping off, seeing temperatures in the upper 40s by 1 o'clock, low 40s by 4. Then we're starting to talk about temperatures back in the 30s, 33 degrees by 7 o'clock when we wake up tomorrow morning. So good news, it's almost here. Just got to get through the next 12 and we will finally start to see them. Take a look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar. Starting to see some prefrontal activity. Thankfully, nothing intense or severe, just some showers starting to grace North Mississippi. Get ready for us to cool on down, but not much to look at here right now. We'll have a lot more to talk about during the 10 o'clock, but still want to emphasize not expecting a severe cold front to make its way through. That's kind of a little bit more severe the further north you go, and thankfully not affecting us, but wanting to mention that as well, just so we can kind of know what's going on. And we're about to see that right here in just a second, but let's talk about those wind speeds first. I wanted to include this just with how kind of breezy it's been today. I know as I was walking into work, everything was blowing around in the parking lot. I had to make sure I had my jacket and secured in my hand, but you can see out here in Tunica, especially the closer you are to the cold front, a little bit breezier. 17 out there in Tunica, 14 in South Haven, Senatobia, 11 Clarksdale, 14 in Cleveland. The further out east you go, not going to be as significant just because we're a lot further away from that cold front, but it will start to increase as it gets closer to us. But those wind gusts, also very breezy. 27 out there in Holly Springs. Y'all are the winner right now. 23 out there in South Haven, 18 in Tunica and Senatobia, 22 Clarksdale, 25 Cleveland. I'd be curious to see kind of what that looks like later on tonight during the 10 o'clock broadcast time. We'll be talking about that cold front moving on through, especially later on this evening. But here we go. We can already see that cold front pretty much on the doorsteps of Mississippi. The models have done a good job lining up that time frame. We said it'd be on the doorsteps around the 6 to 7 o'clock hour, and right now it's almost there. And we can also see kind of where it's more severe. We were talking about that severe weather risk. We were under the level 1, got lifted, Now it's further north, and we can kind of see that they've nailed that pretty good so far, seeing all those warnings get issued the further north you go. Not affecting us. This is a tornado watch out there, which I can move over here so y'all can see that. Just graced the severe thunderstorm warning once it goes over it. But that's going on right now, further north up in Tennessee, but not really affecting us here in Mississippi. But I also wanted to include this because I saw y'all ask the question in the comments yesterday. Didn't see it until I finished my broadcast, and I apologize, but wanted to make sure I covered it. Y'all asked because I always talk about that clockwise spin with high pressure systems, counterclockwise spin with low pressure systems. Which one is worse? Well, typically the answer is counterclockwise. We can especially see that right here. This is a perfect day to explain it. Here's a high pressure system, and I always love drawing it out for you guys. That way I'm a visual person. It helps me out. High pressure system, you have that clockwise spin. There's not much going on out there. Very calm, clear weather. But here's a low pressure system. This has that counterclockwise spin. And we can definitely tell that there is a lot of activity going on with that. So typically you associate that counterclockwise spin with more severe weather. You can definitely tell that cold front moving on down, bringing that severe weather across the mid-south, and then definitely some wintry mix and conditions up there with that warm front. So counterclockwise is typically more severe. Our tornadoes in the northern hemisphere spin counterclockwise as well, which, fun fact, if you go to the southern hemisphere, it's all flipped. So everything we learn in meteorology doesn't really apply down in the southern hemisphere. It's all flipped and mirrored. It's very strange, and that's why I'm glad working in the northern hemisphere. Don't have to worry about that, but I hope that answers y'all's question. I look forward to looking at some more between the breaks. So definitely wanted to explain that as we get ready. But let's take a look at Futurecast to talk about that cold front as it gets closer. Not going to do an in-depth look. We'll do an hour by hour later, but kind of want to show you what's going on. We'll even zoom out just a little bit so we can kind of see the grand picture and just the severity of it, especially the further north it is. But looking down here in the southeast, we can tell a lot more intense further up in Tennessee and Arkansas. You can definitely see that red line moving on through. For us, just going to be a little bit windy. You can see those wind barbs, blowing on in from the north, and that's bringing in all those cooler temperatures that we are going to enjoy for your Monday and pretty much for the rest of our New Year's week. Then we can see those rain showers kind of behind the cold front as we continue. This is during the 10 o'clock hour later on tonight, but post midnight, that line's already out of here, not really bothering any of us, so we don't have to worry about any overnight intense events. We can go to sleep stress-free and enjoy that stress-free rain. Not really going to notice it, especially if you already go to sleep. We'll wake up to dry and pretty much mostly clear conditions tomorrow morning, and it's going to stay that way throughout the rest of your Monday. And then there we go with that high pressure system. Not really much weather along with it, kind of bringing in that clockwise spin, bringing in that northerly wind, and that's what's cooling us off as we get ready for our Monday and pretty much for the rest of the week ahead. But that next 24, showing beautiful conditions that we have been looking forward to. 34 degrees by 6 o'clock with those mostly clear skies, and that's going to be the story for the rest of the day. We're only warming up towards upper 30s, low 40s for our highs tomorrow. So y'all have asked for it. It's finally here, and now we got to enjoy them. So 40 degrees by 3 o'clock, cooling off towards the mid-30s by 6. Then we're talking about upper 20s by that 10 o'clock broadcast hour tomorrow night. So definitely chillier conditions on the way. It's going to even feel a little bit chillier with that wind tomorrow. But of course, I want to give you kind of a breakdown on that cold front for this evening, an hour by hour look at the line of showers moving on through and where and when we can expect it. And also what the rest of your forecast looks like going into your Monday and closer towards New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we'll have all of that coming up after this break.
Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
When choosing a dentist for our family, Tupelo Smiles was the answer for us. They greet us with warm smiles right when we walk in the door, and they make us feel so welcome. We love Tupelo Smiles.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us at Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Let's take a look at a somewhat busy evening planner that we have for the rest of the evening hours ahead. We're starting off with temperatures around 67 degrees by 8 o'clock with that 20% chance of rain by 8 o'clock. And it's going to kind of stay at around 20%, maybe peak around 30% by that 10 o'clock hour. But that's as far as we're going. Just a tiny line moving across North Mississippi, not a widespread event, but definitely extending from the north to the south, trying to give all of us a chance to see that rain, but also those windy conditions later on tonight. But by the time we reach midnight and cross into those AM hours, we're going to start seeing those drier conditions, but also cooler conditions. We're already talking about temperatures cooler than what we experienced overnight last night. We talked about low 60s as our lows. Now we're talking about, I believe it was upper 30s, low 40s for our lows tonight, 47 degrees by 2 o'clock later on. So definitely a good evening ahead of us. Just got to get through these rainy conditions first. But those temperatures right now, definitely not cool by any stretch. Just wanted to show kind of where we are right now. I know people in the comments were talking about how it was a warm day today. I mean, still a warm night right now. 73 degrees out there in Clarksdale, Cleveland, 75 Greenville. Y'all be the first to see that cold front move on through and cool y'all off tonight. So definitely excited to see those temperatures later on during the 10 o'clock broadcast and kind of see the difference between further west and east you go, and that cold front already affecting us later on tonight. But let's kind of take a look at Futurecast and what we're going to talk about. That cold front pretty much right on the doorsteps of North Mississippi, just west of the Mississippi River by 6 o'clock. But as we get closer, 7 o'clock, I mean, right on the doorsteps, which actually, let me take this off because I want to talk about all the showers and stuff associated with it. And we all know a cold front's coming at this point, so don't really need to see it at this point. There we go. Okay, that's going to be a lot better. Now we can really check this out hour by hour and give y'all a good view on it. So 6:30, pretty much just west of the Mississippi River into Arkansas, and getting closer by 7 o'clock, really on the doorsteps. But once we start tracking this hour by hour, 8 o'clock starting to affect the most northwestern portions of our viewing area, especially those in DeSoto County and just south of the Memphis region, and still in the Memphis region up there in Tennessee. That's at 8 o'clock, still not really seeing those rain chances kind of increase until around 9 o'clock, where we start seeing that 20%, starting to get closer towards 30% later on tonight. Just that line expanding all the way north, all the way south across North Mississippi, bringing in those rain chances. But notice, not really tracking anything severe. It's not as intense, just an intense kind of, I just contradicted myself, a kind of strong band of showers making their way through North Mississippi, especially by 10 o'clock. I mean, you can just see that wind just push all along the north. So definitely going to be a lot gusty and breezy as we continue into the evening hours. But like I mentioned, we're going to have a lot to talk about later on tonight during the 10 o'clock broadcast time. So definitely more to analyze and track out. But thankfully, looking more like a wind threat, not really expecting any hail or tornadoes, but definitely going to be keeping our eyes on it all night long. And even by the 11 o'clock hour, starting to see that line a little bit more well-formed, starting to see those heavier showers move on through. But this is at 11 o'clock, already moving through most of North Mississippi. It's pretty much post-midnight and on, where it's out of North Mississippi into West Alabama, not really affecting us. We just have that last-minute moisture and what I always like to call that stress-free rain. Not really going to stress us out as we get ready for bed, and if we're already asleep, not really going to notice that it's there. So just got to get through those breezy conditions, and then we're not tracking anything else out as we continue into those AM hours. We're waking up to dry conditions, clear conditions, and beautiful conditions as we wake up for our Monday morning. Here are those lows. So I'm talking about a whole different color scheme, pretty much blue all across North Mississippi. We're talking about upper 20s for some areas, 29 out there in Water Valley, Oxford, and Holly Springs, and up there in Corinth, but pretty much low 30s all across North Mississippi. So definitely going to be a chilly start to the day and a chilly day ahead as well. And with it being Monday, still on Christmas break, no school day. So we're going to see a chillier day ahead. 33 degrees by the time we wake up with those mostly clear conditions. That's going to stick around all day long, warming up towards the upper 30s and eventually the upper 40s by the time you reach those afternoon hours. So definitely not going to be another toasty day, but a beautiful one as we get ready for the New Year's week ahead. Coming back to Futurecast, we can see those mostly clear conditions as we wake up at around 6 o'clock. If you choose to do so that early, me personally, I will still be sound asleep at this hour. But by Monday, as we get closer and closer towards lunchtime, just kind of seeing that constant cloud cover move across North Mississippi, those mostly clear conditions, that's about it. Not only until lunchtime, but into the afternoon hours, heading into your evening. We're tracking dry, beautiful, and clear conditions all across North Mississippi. Somewhat of that cloud cover trying to build up a little bit more in the evening, but still mostly clear conditions all day long. Those high temperatures, definitely a beautiful sight to see. Low 40s all across North Mississippi, 42 in Amory, Houston, and Bruce, 38 Holly Springs and Tunica, 40 Clarksdale, Cleveland, and 43 Greenville, Belzona, and Greenwood. But here's the difference. It's not really going to feel like that as our temperatures have felt the past few days. We're going to feel colder than those temperatures, and that's due to those windy conditions that we're going to experience tonight kind of linger a little bit into tomorrow. So definitely going to feel a little bit cooler than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. So all those layers and clothes and gifts you got for Christmas, we're finally able to use it here as we get ready for the week ahead, especially Monday. But take a look with that park planner. Going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, so might as well go out and enjoy it as long as you are layered up and enjoy the cold. 33 degrees by the time you wake up in the morning, working your way up towards the upper 30s by 12, 40 degrees by 3, and then the low 30s by 7 o'clock. Me personally, too cold for me, so not going to be doing that at 7 o'clock, but hey, around 3 o'clock, maybe be able to take the dog out for a walk. Going to be a beautiful day. And here we go with another model kind of showing those clearer conditions, that cloud cover not really building in as much. This is Monday evening at 6 o'clock, and we're going to track out the rest of your evening as we continue throughout the Monday evening into your Tuesday. But there's not really much to track out as we continue into the evening hours ahead, which this one's going hour by hour too. So looks like we're tracking stuff out hour by hour for your Monday night into your Tuesday. This is now at midnight. And then we're going to go into those AM hours still. Not a lot going on as you continue throughout the overnight period. Waking up Tuesday at 8:30. I mean, this is in play throughout the entire time. It's just kind of going to be breezy conditions, but clear conditions as well. Seeing much sunnier skies for your Tuesday as compared to your Monday. Seeing those mostly clear conditions Monday, clearer conditions for your Tuesday, all the way into Wednesday night at around 1 a.m. as well. But those high temperatures Tuesday, still low 40s all across North Mississippi, even talking about some upper 30s as well. 38 out there in Red Bay, 39 Iuka, Boonville, and Corinth, 38 Holly Springs, Senatobia, Tunica, 41 in Greenville, Belzona, Greenwood, and 43 out there in Eupora. And those feels like values doing a little bit better, but still some windy conditions still lingering Tuesday. Not going to be as dramatic as a change tomorrow as compared to your Tuesday, but still something good to know with those windy conditions on their way here to North Mississippi. But that 7-day forecast, a beautiful sight to finally look at. I know our Christmas wish is finally being granted with these cooler conditions. High of 40 for your Monday, warming on up towards 41 Tuesday. Then we're talking about low 50s Wednesday with pretty much clear conditions for the next 3 days. Then that cloud cover builds in just a little bit New Year's Day, and we're talking about mid 50s for the rest of the New Year's week and into the weekend ahead. Those rain changes try to come back into the forecast Friday before we still settle out in the mid 50s and hopefully see a drier weekend ahead coming up. But also don't go anywhere. I keep talking about those windy conditions, and I want to track out the future wind chill values and how cold it's going to feel throughout your Monday and into your Tuesday. I'll also have that New Year's Eve and day planner coming up as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be discussing all of that right here after the break.
The bravest thing that my dad has done has been going back to school.
It wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
The bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I was just checking the comments, Patty. I hope you didn't go anywhere. I know you were asking about, let me read it, if we will have the cold enough temperatures this week that pipes may freeze. I will say probably Monday night, Tuesday night, and into Wednesday night will be the biggest threats, just because I remember forecasting low 20s throughout those areas or throughout those nights. So definitely the conditions will be met and we'll see those freezing conditions. So I'll definitely keep an eye out on that, and we'll have more on that during the 10 o'clock. But Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night should be the biggest threats, and then we'll start seeing low 30s and starting to increase just a little bit later on into the holiday week. But let's talk about those future wind chill values, especially as that cold front gets closer. You're going to see kind of where it is since we're tracking this out from tonight into tomorrow. Not really experiencing any of that with these above average conditions that we're experiencing, but there comes that cold front, just that gust of blue just pushing into North Mississippi. And by midnight, we're already seeing those cooler conditions. Upper 20s by midnight later on tonight. 27 in Tunica, South Haven, and Holly Springs. 34 out there in Corinth. Definitely going to feel a lot cooler the further north you go. but we all definitely know that here in Mississippi. Further south you go, 52 out there in Starkville, 53 in Columbus and that Golden Triangle region. So cold still working its way to you there at midnight. But as we continue into those AM hours, starting to even see that pink start to pop up. So if you're waking up early, definitely going to be chilly and very breezy. 16 out there in South Haven and Holly Springs. Again, these won't be actual temperatures, just what it feels like outdoors as you start off your Monday. But pretty much talking about a lot of teens all across North Mississippi or even low 20s. I think the best for me personally is I like the warmer. So 27 out there in Greenville. Y'all are coming out the best for Monday at 8 o'clock. But checking out throughout the rest of your day, even by lunchtime, if you want to go out to the park, walk the dog, any hiking or park planners, I mean, it's still going to feel like you're in the low 30s, upper 20s for your Monday, and even cooling on off to see low 20s by your Monday evening around dinner time. So definitely a cold day ahead, but this is what we've been wishing for. I know we're all going to enjoy it. For me personally, I like warmer conditions. I'm excited to see those finally make their way here to North Mississippi. Even by Monday night, talking about those overnight period into Tuesday, starting to see those upper to mid-teens come back again. 13 in New Albany, 12 in Boonville and Holly Springs, 15 South Haven, Senatobia, and 13 out there in Tunica as well. So definitely a chilly night period coming up, but also a beautiful forecast for our New Year's as well. New Year's Eve, we're still keeping our fingers tight. Those mostly clear conditions are lingering for our New Year's Eve, and that's why I put it down here. Mostly clear for New Year's Eve, just because that's when most of us are launching our fireworks. That's that night, so definitely hoping that that trend and condition can last all the way up until New Year's Eve. High of 52 by then, and then mid-50s by New Year's Day, so still a beautiful forecast coming up as we work our way closer and closer towards 2026, and we're going to start to feel those effects later on tonight and into the week ahead. But also got to talk about those football games, because Alabama and Ole Miss made it to the next bowl game for the college football playoff bracket. Alabama will be playing Indiana. And what did I say yesterday? With it being in California, those rain chances going to be very unpredictable, but more promising out there in California. Those rain chances spiked a little bit overnight, starting with a 60% chance by the first play, still sitting around the low 60s all game long. Could be a rainier forecast, but definitely something to continue monitoring if anyone's traveling out there to Pasadena. But also Ole Miss not going to travel as far down in New Orleans, Louisiana. Better forecast, pretty much a overcast, cloudy forecast, still sitting around the low 60s. So a beautiful one as well. But I appreciate all y'all tuning in, and we'll make sure to continue monitoring that cold front later on tonight. If you want to make sure to continue to stay updated with us, here's a QR code for both the iOS and Android app. We appreciate all the support you have given us, and we'll make sure to continue sending those alerts if anything changes, but it'll also let you know when that rain is approaching for more severe situations, when that hail or tornado warnings are in place and affecting your area. So we'll make sure to continue keeping a monitor on that cold front as it gets closer, and we'll be talking about it later on tonight during the 10 o'clock broadcast. So make sure to continue to stay updated here with us, and we'll keep y'all updated as we continue into the night ahead. But I hope all of y'all have had a fantastic Sunday, and all of y'all are ready for the cold temperatures ahead. And we'll be talking about that later on tonight in the Room to Room Weather Center tonight at 10.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.